Hey everybody, welcome to the art room. Hope everybody's doing well. We're going to be working on a symmetry project today. I'm going to show you a little artist hack that makes creating something on one side easier by using a little bit of skill and a little bit of trickery. So I'm going to show you guys my trick, and then we're going to end up with a project that you can give to your mom for Mother's Day, or your grandmother or aunt. You can make a bunch of them, give them out to everybody if you want to, but they're going to turn out beautiful, and your mom would love to receive this as a gift, I'm sure, because I'm a mom and I know that if one of my sons came home with something that they made like this, I would love it and I would treasure it. So probably going to be the same for you. So what you're going to need today is a black oil pastel or a black crayon. If you're using a crayon, you're going to have to color a little bit harder than you have to with the black oil pastel. A pencil would be helpful to start, and some watercolors or markers if you don't have watercolors, or crayons or color pencils or gel pens or whatever you like. And then extra things could be like glitter or glitter glue, stickers, feathers even. I mean, you'll see as the project evolves what it's going to turn into, and then you're probably going to start thinking about what you can do to make it your very own. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. All right, so I chose yellow. Oh, let me get rid of my lunch spoon. It's Teacher Appreciation Week, so we had a big lunch in the staff room here at Atala today, and they gave us these really pretty rose gold silver. It's not real silverware, it's plastic. It looks like real silver though, and I really like it, and I didn't use my spoon, so I kept it in case I wanted to make something with it. It's cool, right? Cool colors. Okay, anyway. Okay, so I've got my yellow paper. You could choose construction paper or just plain old white paper is fine too. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half. Just a second though. Okay, so you want to get a line down the middle. So if you're making this as a card for somebody, you're going to be able to use it kind of just as is. And they'll look at the card this way, it'll say whatever you want it to say, and then they'll open it up and there's going to be this beautiful artwork inside. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use my oil pastel. Well, actually, first I'm going to use my pencil. Sometimes outlining first or doing a rough sketch with a pencil is good first because it gives you control over what's going to happen. All right, and I'm only going to draw on one side. So if you're lefty and you want to start on the left side, or if you're righty and you want to start on the right side, that's fine. And I'm going to be we're going to be doing a butterfly. So I'm going to go about, I guess it would be a quarter of the way down here, right here. And I'm going to start just with a semicircle, okay? I know it might be hard to see that. You'll see it as it gets a little bit darker. I'm only drawing on one side of the paper. And you're going to find out why in just a minute, because I'm going to teach you something in symmetry that when you can do it the way I'm going to show you, it's going to make your life so much easier than trying to draw both sides the same way. Now you can freestyle your butterfly. It doesn't have to look like mine. Okay. All right. Now, with that one side being done the way I want it to be, I'm actually going to give it some detail. So I'm going to draw that all with pencil first. Try to make it look like I'm looking at something as a guide. Oops. Because as much as I love butterflies, I don't draw them a lot. And so sometimes I don't remember what oh my gosh, my pencil. What their patterns are supposed to, or what their patterns can look like. Not supposed to, but you make this however you want. So sometimes having a visual example or something that inspires you and then you do it how you want to is helpful. Okay, then I'm going to divide up the bottom wings into sections. So let's see, I'm going to do here, here, here. Okay. All right, that's good enough. All right, so you can make dots, you can make whatever you want on your wings. It can be however you want. Now the fun part. Okay, so if you're using a black crayon, you're going to want to make sure that you're doing this really dark. And you're just following the outline of what you drew already. Oil pastels, if you've got oil pastels, you know they get a little bit messy. So keep a paper towel nearby if you don't like that messiness on your fingers. Now you see this nice dark outline? You didn't see it before, and you see it now for sure. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead, anything that I want, in black, I'm going to outline. Watch your hands that you don't smudge, so just be careful. I'm lifting my hand up so I'm not rubbing against the paper. I've been doing this for a long time with oil pastels, so I know it's a little harder to draw this way, but practice if you can. Keep your hand off the paper. That would be fantastic. Okay, now, here's the magic. Can you guess what we're going to do? It's probably pretty obvious now. We're going to close it back on the fold. And I'm going to take something blunt. So it can be a pen, it could be a popsicle stick. Let's see, what do I have here to use? I have one of these pencils here that I can use to rub, and I'm going to rub wherever I see, because the black outline should be visible to you from when you fold it. You should be able to see it through the paper. Something flat, okay? So something that has a flat tip, like a popsicle stick, or you probably could use your finger. But you might have to press really hard. You might make indentations. So see if you can find something flat, a flat stick, or penny. A penny or a nickel or a dime, a coin would be good. That would probably work just as well. All right, let's see if the magic worked. Ah, yes. Now, you see I have the outline of a butterfly. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this upside down. And I'm going to go back over my lines now that I have magically appeared on this side. Again, just be super careful about oil pastels are smudgy. I call these juicy crayons because they are like crayons, but they're better. Now this method ensures that the left side and the right side are going to look exact, okay? But if you're drawing, that symmetry is a little bit more difficult, and that really takes a lot of practice and concentration and observation, okay? So in my opinion, that's what, art is a lot of observation. I always say it's getting your hands to do what your eyes see. If you're trying to draw from something or copy, getting your hands to do what your eyes see. Now your oil pastel, if you're using it, could break. They are more delicate than crayons, so they will snap if you put too much pressure on them. All right, now I'm going to turn this back over. All right, yeah, I like the way this is looking. And so what I'm going to do is, in some of these areas, I'm going to go ahead and just blacken, fill in some of the shades, some of the shading parts behind the details that I drew. Feel free to give it your own personality. Now, if you're doing this, if you're just going to add some new things, then you want to make sure that whatever you do to the left side, you do to the right side. Okay, you see the difference? This is all blacked out now, but this isn't. If I forget, it's not gonna be symmetrical. I'm trying to think of like what a real butterfly looks like if you get an opportunity to look at a monarch. They're so beautiful. Butterflies are really, I'm growing these plants in my backyard, in my garden, to attract butterflies and hummingbirds. And so we've been seeing those really pretty yellow and black ones. They come to visit and drink the nectar from the flower. Okay, now I'm going to work up here. Listen, if you make a mistake or two, it's okay. Don't toss your whole work just because of a mistake or two. Figure out a way to fix it or turn it into something new. Okay. I'm not gonna color the body in yet because I don't know if I want to do something different to it. So I'm gonna leave it. This line, I'm gonna make this a little bit darker. Okay. Now I got my cup of water, I've got my paints. And we're gonna go ahead and just choose some colors that we like. Or if you're making this for somebody, maybe think about their favorite colors. And just, you know, have some fun with this. This should be a relaxing project. And the oil pastel or the crayon, they're going to resist the paint. So you're not going to be able to paint over. It might, you know, you might see a little bit of the paint go over onto the oil pastel, but you're mostly going to just see that nice, bright, vibrant orange. I'm painting right over the oil pastel, and it's not permeating the oil pastel. The oil pastel is resisting, and so that's what we want to happen. Now be careful because this is regular paper. It's not cardstock where it's a thicker paper. If you worked on cardstock, great, that's fine. You won't have this problem. But if you're working on regular copy paper like I am, getting your paper too wet could create rips. So you want to be super duper careful. And let paint dry in between if you're going to add another coat. I'm trying to think of how I want to paint this. Alright, I'll pause the video and then I'll come back when this is all painted and you can work on yours and then we'll finish it up together. Okay, now that my butterfly is all painted and looking beautiful, I'm going to let it dry and we can just talk about some other things that you can do to this project once it's dry. So you can go ahead and you can use your oil pastel or markers once the watercolor part is dry, and you can add in details or lines or different kinds of patterns if you want to, or you can just leave it the way that it is and call it a day. If you want to give this to your mom or to somebody as a gift, you can give it to them as is, or you can include it as part of a card. And what I would do is I would get a piece of construction paper, something that's a little bit bigger than a regular size piece of paper, and I would fold it also in the middle and just decorate the outside of the card and then put this inside of it so that way when she opens it up, you know, there's the butterfly inside and you can write, you know, to mom or I love you or whatever you want to say. It's your card. And then you can go back and put any like finishing touches on once the watercolor's on. But if you If you paint over the watercolor, I mean, if you accidentally draw over the watercolor with your crayon or oil pastel, you will not be able to cover it up, just so you know. Watercolor and oil pastel or crayon will, the oil pastel and the crayon will resist the watercolor. It'll kind of bead up and it won't be able to color that section, okay? So just keep that in mind. So I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. And you know, if I were looking at this, if someone gave, you know, this to me, I'd be like, wow, that's amazing that they were able to do that on both sides. It looks exactly the same. And so it's not really cheating. It's your artwork. You're doing your own work. It's just it makes things a little bit easier. It takes the pressure off of getting everything perfect on the other side. Artists use this trick all the time for different things. So you know, you're not doing anything, you know, deceiving or wrong. And you can explain to someone how you got it the same on the other side, but they will be impressed. And it does come out pretty much close to perfect if you do it the way that I showed you. And yeah, and you have this amazing project after you're done. Okay? So can't wait to see your butterflies or whatever. And this would work with anything symmetrical. If you were doing a face, if you were doing a flower or a leaf, those things they tend to be symmetrical in nature. And so if you're doing a face, you do the one side on the side of the fold, and then you do it really dark, and then you fold it over and you rub, you know, carefully with a blunt object or a coin, and then you should get the outline, and then you can darken it with whatever you're using. It will work with pencil also. Mechanical pencil is not the greatest pencil to do it with. I would say go for a regular pencil or a graphite or drawing pencil, but not a mechanical pencil. They're too thin and fragile, and the lead doesn't tend to be as dark sometimes. So good old regular pencil will work. And then you do the same thing. You close it, you rub with you can even rub over it with more pencil lines, and then you'd open it up and you'd get a very faint line that you could trace. Okay? All right, cool guys. I can't wait to see your artwork, and have fun. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And make sure you tell somebody that you love and appreciate them today. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.